There's a lot being written right now about Chicago, about its future and the questions that we all have to answer. But when you look at Chicago, what do you see? Do you just see the challenges that we face? Or do you see that the promise of our city is still ahead of us? And that's what we're committed at United Way to doing, finding ways to bring all of us together, regardless of the sector, to make sure that we have an opportunity to meet this moment that we are in and deliver on behalf of our community.
United Neighborhood Equity Fund is a really great example of how United Way has changed their grant making around racial equity. We recognize that a lot of organizations that are doing work on the ground, that are led by Black and Brown leaders, were not receiving the funding that they need to be able to do the really meaningful work that they're doing. And a lot of that was because their operating budgets were so small, they weren't able to meet the criteria of traditional grant making.
When United Way first approached us about the United Neighborhoods Equity Fund, we knew right away that this was a great match for us. We know those organizations provide meaningful impact locally to the folks who live in those neighborhoods, specifically organizations who are led by Black men of color.
Urban Male Network is a male mentorship organization where we provide a positive network for young men of color in the Chicagoland area. For years, I did this part-time, and UNEF provided that opportunity for me to step into doing this role full-time. We have added 5 locations since we've received the funding from UNEF. I'm making more partnerships with city, state, and county agencies so we can ultimately make more of an impact with the young man that we are working with.
The government can't do everything, and we need to have partnerships with philanthropy and the business community if we're going to effectively serve the people of Cook County. In government, we have to figure out how to invest in the communities that have been disinvested in, marginalized, kicked to the curb, and that means you have to have a place-based strategy to address the challenges that those communities face. Clearly, United Way is the gold star entity for a place-based strategy, so the idea of collaboration was clear.
Transforming Places was developed out of the $15 million recommendation from the Cook County Equity Fund to pursue more place-based investment, more specifically in suburban Cook County. In Park Forest, Richton Park, Harvey Network, an expansion of our Blue Island Robbins Network, and Fort Heights, Chicago Heights neighborhood. We have over 10 years of experience with neighborhood networks, and we've seen this model work. And we are working very intentionally with Cook County to help these communities advance towards their visions and their goals.
What we hope we can achieve with Cook County is not only fund new neighborhood networks and establish new coalitions, but also help the county be as responsive to community as they would like to be. We're so excited about the deep partnership that we have with them and are really looking forward to the future.
Clearly, our community is at a crossroads. And the question is, what does our next chapter look like? At United Way, we're committed to being part of that next chapter in which our community thrives, our neighborhoods rise, and our people have the opportunities and access to the resources that they need and deserve. Our job is to bring together the full community, the public sector, the private sector, the nonprofit community, donors, volunteers, everyone who wants to be a part of it, and say, let's make this vision a reality. Our ask to you is to come join us. Join us as leaders in this community to create the region and city that we all know that we want to be a part of. That's what our work is all about.